So the recommended way that I'm going to suggest we do pose polling on mocap data is through a really quick, simple custom script that actually had ChatGPT write. And all it does is it will delete every keyframe that you don't have selected. So, or you don't type in the selected value. So this is how it works. I select all the things I want. Here's all of my keyframes. I then run either the Python one or the Mailscript one, doesn't really matter. And you're going to get an interface that looks like this. Enter the keyframes to keep with a space separated. So if you go through and you say, okay, each one of these frames. So I know I want to keep 0, space, and I know I want to keep 180, which is the last one, space. And then literally you can just come through here and just snap through the keys, find the ones that you like, and you don't have to do them in order. 1, 4, 10, space. So now I'm just going to arbitrarily pick numbers. But so you would just literally go through and figure out which poses you want, type in the frame of that pose. And then I'll just put some arbitrary ones. All right, and then you just hit delete all other keys. And in about 3 minutes, these are going to go away, and it's going to keep those keys. Correction, 2 minutes. So now you can see, there's my poses. It's pulled my poses, kept what I asked it to do. Very fast. No animbot, no animation layers, just a really simple script. There you have it. Okay. Using the Anibot script to do my pose poll or rip out my keyframes that I want. So this script, plug in various collection of scripts, is one of the most amazing things ever. Would highly recommend it for anybody who's animating. This is super, super useful. The first thing that I use a lot in the process is this select set window here, which is going to allow you to build custom selections. It makes it a lot easier than selection sets, and it doesn't have the weirdnesses with selection sets. So I've created some custom ones. What's really nice is this is everything that's got mocap keys on it. But when I'm animating, or cleaning up just the feet from mocap, this is really nice because it grabs everything just for the feet, and I can work on those keys. Or I can hit all, and that's literally everything, including like all the face controls and all that, or just each individual hand or fingers. So this is really, 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 really super useful. And they're very easy to save and load and import in and out. The second thing I'm going to use are these key coloring. So I only put 2 on here, red and yellow. But this is something that he added. It's useful if you want to mark out what you think are your keys and what are your breakdowns, just to visually organize. What I think is really nice about this is essentially I can grab all of these keys, turn them yellow. And so for me, what that means is, come on. These are temporary keys, okay? And then I go through and I say, oh, I want this key to be a pose I'm going to pull. So obviously I'm going to pull the first and last pose. And then from that point, it's just a function of, since I'm running on 2s, of going through and kind of looking for where I want my chief poses and hitting plant. I find that I tend to do about every 4 poses, but not always, or 4 keys. Right now I'm looking at the legs. It's also helpful when you're trying to pull poses to hide the curves. So I just did that with Alt-1 on a PC. So you can still keep them selected, but so you can see where the foot's doing some weird stuff there. So I'm totally going to have to clean those up. And the hands are all messed up. Shoulders are wonky, Now, you're asking yourself, why is this so cool and useful? Well, because if you right-click on this, I can remove all the red keys or remove all the yellow keys. So that means once I've got my keys pulled and I right-click and it's going to remove all yellow keys, I now literally have only those keys in the scene. And if they're set to stepped, I've now got my blocking 1 or blocking 0, I guess, since you're going to go through and now push those poses or clean those poses up. And your timing is matching the mocap. So to me, this is the biggest thing, because it really it helps with realistic timing and gets you pretty close. Now, with stylization, we know that you're going to want to push and pull those things around. But again, this is just speeding up the workflow, gets them in the space, and then you got to go through and really apply your animator magic to it to get it to really sing. Sometimes this method can actually get in our way, and you may have to just rebuild the pose from scratch, which is totally fine. But again, this is just for speeding up workflow. I'm not advocating mocap versus keyframe. I like them both.